I know you figured out by now this market has become very interesting. And I say interesting, I mean very interesting. And one of the things I want to address, and I've addressed it in the past, but now, today's one of those days, and I just really have to get out there and address this one. And it has to do with your home, selling it, and investors. So stick around and let's go ahead and have another chat. This has to be another one of those where we have to come to an agreement where the silliness has to stop. Hey, real quick, my name is Eric. I'm a real estate agent here in the Las Vegas area. If you need any kind of a reach out to me, call, text, email, information is down below. Also over in the info tab, and I have a calendar link down below if you want to get on my calendar. We can talk for a few minutes, chop it up about real estate. Today was just exhausting. The video I'm making for you right now is not the video that was intended, so I'll make that video tomorrow. I went out to Trilogy in both Sunstone and Summerlin. I know I've done a Trilogy video before. It's an active 55 plus community. Well, this time I got to go down to the Summerlin location. It was really nice, and I wanted to make a video about that. But during the entire time that I was there and afterwards, I was bombarded by the same people that you continue to see me complain about. The investors who want a particular property. And it's just gotten so bad. I'm going to be very honest. I may be a real estate agent, but I'm not really a salesperson. I get the stuff done. I work with people. And fortunately, by leaving people alone, they bring me business because I leave people alone. I'm not going to be in their face. I'm not going to do this thing that I've heard some real estate coaches say. I'm going to hound them until they buy, die, or file a restraining order. No, I don't do that. That's not me. That's not my personality. And the thing is, these investors have just driven me crazy. And I'm thinking about this because this particular house that they're calling about is going to expire next week, which means they're now going to be hounding the family. Now, the families decide they don't want to sell. I've kept it in the market, and I've also kept it in a status where it's not being shown because I knew what was going to happen to them. And I can see now how bad it's going to be. And I want to talk to you. Let's have a little conversation today about all these investors. Now, also, during this entire time, I was actually on a Zoom call about investing in real estate. So there is nothing wrong with that. Nothing. What gets wrong is all of these people who it's like, I'm just going to hound you until you convince your sellers to take what I want. Don't you find something wrong with that? Well, I do. So the head is like all within the short period of time this afternoon. Last one I just got off. And as I'm even making this video, one of them is still continuing to text, even though they've been told the seller is not selling. So I'm going to keep a little bit of their stuff private, but it's just gotten so ridiculous. So first of all, this house, it was an assumable mortgage. All of my listings are veterans, and which means they all have VA loans. I've talked about before, VA loans are assumable, and we've talked about the process of doing it. It can be done by anyone, but this seller, they want to maintain their benefits. So the only way they can maintain their benefit is to have a veteran take over that loan. So I'm at a luncheon at Trilogy, and this person calls. And, well, they can't hear, and because, it's a luncheon, people are talking, and it's like, I can't hear you. And then it's like, can I text you? And I'm screaming like, yes, you can text. Instead of text, tries to call back because I guess the individual wants to have a long discussion and convince me of things. This is how I should have known it was an investor. Well, they finally text. Sorry, Eric. Hi, Eric. Sorry, it seemed to be a bad line. I kept telling her I'm at a luncheon, but why listen? Interested in this property. Please, could you tell me what's left on the loan, principal, interest, blah, 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 blah. Thanks, who the investor is. Get back with them. Oh, yeah, I have to look up the rates. They owe this amount. They've become frustrated about the house not selling after many showings. And they said they no longer want to sell. I think people with a sixth grade education can understand the words no longer want to sell. Here's the response. I totally understand their frustrations. What were the issues with the house? That was turning viewings off. Why not just move on your damn way? No. If you could send me the exact numbers on monthly payments, that I can run numbers and see if it would be a good rental for me. If the numbers work, we can close quick. They no longer want to sell. Okay, so let's go here. Start off because most of these investors want to do a sub two, subject to. I've talked about that before. Are you trying to do a sub two? If so, they've already said no to this many times. Not much, and I go through a little bit of the feedback because they listed at a bad time. A lot of people have listed at a bad time. You see all these 200,000 houses that have come off the market. Well, they're about to be in that mix because they've gotten tired. It's not because they're no longer going to clear 500,000, but only clear 400. It's just frustration. They did not have any offers after all those showings because people were finding everything. There was just so many houses out there. So, but now look at this. This comes back. The mortgage is assumable, so no need for subject to. I need to understand what monthly loan payments are, the tax interest order, understand if the property will cash flow for rental. After I can work this out, I'm interested. I love a viewing. They are no longer selling. Although the mortgage is assumed by anyone, the seller prefers a veteran so they can maintain their benefits. I haven't read this yet. Let's see what it says. Okay, it doesn't state that in the listing. I'm being nice on that. It does not, because people change. I have another property that's assumable, and somebody called on it, and in the past, the person has said that they're not interested in doing it except for a veteran. But you maintain some of your benefit, and enough of the benefit is being maintained by what they owe to buy their next house. So people change their mind. So just because somebody says that now doesn't mean they're going to say it in the future. But at least it's this one. The one I got off the phone that just finally just drove me to make this video. I was on the phone for over 5 minutes as I'm going like, it's no longer for sale. Is it coming off the market? I mean, is that any of your business? No. And he just goes on and on about how he could structure the deal. You know what? Here's the thing I've always realized. You ever been on a Zoom conversation or anything else? Or just any kind of webinar? When they start with the following words: shut down your Facebook, close all your additional tabs, silence your phone so you can listen to the great information I have. You know what they got? They trying to sell you something expensive. They need you to understand. It's like when you click on something, you want to know the price. You got to enter your name and your phone number, your email, so someone can reach out, so they can tell you why it's so important for you to spend $1,500 on their product. How many damn times somebody has to be told, this is no longer for sale? Well, have we tried structuring it this way? I told him, like, wait a minute. You're about the 120th caller on this. He goes, wow, 20 calls. Again, didn't listen. No, I said 120. Yeah, I'm getting into a little rant today. And it's because certain big institutional buyers, I'm not going to mention them again because I've been advised that they are now brokerages, so I can't say anything negative. And I'm not trying to say negative things about them. What I'm saying is when the market was great a year ago, they were paying at and above market prices to get market share. They are gone. So now we have all these little investors who couldn't do anything for the last few years. They're going like, I can finally get a house. I can finally create an Airbnb. I can finally flip a house and whatever they want to do, create a rental, the stuff they couldn't do because they would have had to pay $50,000 over the list price a year ago. But now they're out. They're out in droves, and their pockets are fat, and they've been waiting for so long to buy, and now it's their chance. And they're going out there and they're making offers for 70 cents on the dollar, or they're doing this stuff here when you have a low interest loan, doing this subject to stuff. Beyond again, this may work for someone. If subject to works for you, it works for you. It's like solar. There are some people solar may work for. Yeah, I have a lot of negative things to say about solar. And it's not negative because I hate green energy or something. It's negative because the numbers don't work out for me. Okay? I'm sorry. If somebody has to sit down and put stuff on a board and all this stuff, and I got to package it this way, it's too damn complicated. You ain't got to package a loan like that to buy a house. You know what I mean? So this is more of kind of a warning to you. These investors are now on the phone all day long calling. There's all kinds of programs that tell them all kinds of stuff. I have access to it. The one I use, which is what most of the investors use, is called PropStream. I have it. I'm using it for a different reason than them. I'm using it so I can just call up people who are, so I can do a subject to. I'll be honest with you. What I use it for is I call up landlords who the algorithm says are frustrated now because, I don't know, they have tenants who aren't paying to see if they want to list their house. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. I mean, they're landlords. It's business. They live in New York now. They move. They put a tenant in there who's not paying. This program tells me, I can say, hey, you want to get rid of your tenant and sell this house before the market falls down even more? Sounds like a win-win, right? But that's in my mind. For all I know, I'm just as frustrating as these investors are. So what I'm trying to say to y'all, you got your house to sell. You do have other options. There are plenty of options to get out of this. All of this stuff with their structuring and all of this, be honest, I don't know. What I am saying is protect yourself. If they're trying to do things like, oh, you don't need a realtor to do this stuff. Again, I'm not trying to promote you trying to get a real estate agent to do anything, because that's a pet peeve of mine too. I have people on my channel and, they're doing stuff and they start getting into that sales mode. Well, what you need is a good whatever like me. So you need to call me. You don't need to call me. I'm going to give you all the information you need. So I'm going to do some more research because I would like to understand it, to see if it's good for a seller. I mean, it's got to be good for somebody because somebody's doing it. All this is the stuff you had from the 80s, man. Remember, anybody who's old enough had late night commercials, or infomercials, half-hour long commercials, dressed up like fake talk shows and stuff. You can become a millionaire from real estate. And the seller will pay for you to buy their house. That stuff. Yeah, that's all this is. So anyway, if you want to talk about a little bit of real estate, counters down below. Also, my contact information is there. Also over in that info tab. Call, text, email me, and we can get together, chop it up a little bit. And if you found this information a little bit useful, I know today was more of a rant than anything else. Thank you for making it to the end. Hit that subscribe button. I'm sorry. I'm passionate about this stuff, and I'm passionate about getting good information out to folks. So that's what I got for today.